A jury in California has just found Bill Cosby liable in a civil case against Judith Hughes, who claimed that the comedian sexually assaulted her back at the Playboy mansion in 1975 when she was a teenager. During the trial, it appears that there were several errors in a testimony that came from Donna Samuelson, one of Hughes' friends. Donna claimed that they played the video game Donkey Kong. However, it would be later revealed that the video game was actually released 6 years after the alleged assault. Cosby and his team will be appealing the $500,000 verdict, but as of now, Cosby will not pay any punitive damages for the incident. Today we have our company hype analyst, Yamanika Saunders, as well as Pierre, calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. Now, before diving in, of course, a lot of people are chiming in on this, so I want to read a couple of comments and then come back to you all. So one user says, Bill Cosby is getting what he deserved, but he still needs to be in jail. I don't care how old that man is, he's a sick POS, and he deserves to be punished for what he's done to all those women. I don't care how long ago either. Tariq Nasheed tweets, this Bill Cosby civil case farce is further proof that in a system of white supremacy, no matter how financially successful you are as a black person, a white person can lie on you and you can be systematically punished based on that lie. Pierre, I want to start with you. After hearing the verdict of the case and just seeing everything unfold, what are your thoughts and what was your initial reaction to it?
A little surprised and shocked. I thought it was over with. It's crazy how people can just keep constantly bringing back stuff. I thought pretty much it was over with. He spent time in jail for some fraudulent shit. Of what they agreed upon, and they put him in jail. Now he's out. To me, at the end of the day, I say let's move on. It's time. Time has moved on this scenario, and I think he's been punished up. His legacy is tarnished somewhat, to some folks, not to me, but to some folks it's tarnished. So I think he's paid his price, and unfortunately, maybe this will show some way how to handle this in the future if you're getting in that situation again today. What to do so it doesn't have 40 years later now you're going back and forth. So maybe that helps out, today's situation.
Yamanika, I want to come to you next. What are your thoughts and initial reactions to the verdict of the case?
Well, I'm trying to relax in my black womanhood. You understand? Like, I get so tired of niggas calling us up to be, defending them in situations they put themselves in. We got to run and defend R. Kelly because he pissing on little 13-year-old girls, but then also he got 13-year-old girls by him. Michael Jackson wanted us to defend him, because he touching little boys, but he also taking all these little white boys to Disneyland. Bill Cosby up here with all these young women, and then I don't have time. Like, listen, if somebody tell you that I ate a pack of donuts and I'm a fat bitch, don't question it. Don't get involved. I had no business being around them donuts. So I get tired of defending people around situations they put themselves in, and then somebody rally crying about it's a freedom, black men, and whenever you get money, this is what white people. Nobody put them young women around Bill Cosby. Nobody put them little girls around R. Kelly. Well, people argue that the parents did, and nobody told Michael Jackson to keep taking them little white boys to Disneyland. So what do I have to get involved in it for? Obviously, I'm gonna talk about it because we're here today. But black people, we got too much other fish to fry than these little individual cases where people get, especially rich people who don't give back to the community, put themselves in situations where they want us to sit here and martyr ourselves on behalf of them because they done got caught up in something.
Now, I think both of you make great points, and it's good, I think, to have both views, because I think a lot of people are feeling that, from what I'm seeing in the comments and tweets and things like that. So Bill Cosby team, of course, did come forward to speak out via Bill Cosby's Instagram, and here's a lengthy post that I want to read to you all. So they said, let me explain with facts and not the misleading headlines that the mainstream media is pushing. Mr. Cosby did not attend the trial or testify in person, but short clips from his 2015 video deposition were played for jurors in which Mr. Cosby has denied any sexual contact with Ms. Hughes. Mr. Cosby continues to deny the allegations through his attorney, Jennifer Bogine, and his crisis manager and publicist, Andrew Wyatt. To win no punitive damages in California is a huge victory for Mr. Cosby. Another huge victory for Mr. Cosby is when the jurors were asked the following questions when deciding the verdict. Has Mrs. Hughes proved by clear and convincing evidence that Mr. Cosby engaged in the conduct with malice, oppression, or fraud? Majority of jurors voted in favor of Mr. Cosby. Next question. Did Mr. Cosby actually and reasonably believe Ms. Huth was at least 18 years of age when she was at the Playboy Mansion with Mr. Cosby? Majority of the jurors voted in favor of Mr. Cosby. The verdict is a result of Mr. Cosby's PA Supreme Court victory by Bogine Law Group and the continuous media coverage by Andrew Wyatt. The plaintiff was seeking over $8 million in damages and awarded $500,000, which we will appeal that decision. If you have been following this case, you know it has been many appealable issues that should rule in the favor and justice and Mr. Cosby. Despite a biased jury, a judge who allowed 3 additional prior bad acts in, we feel absolutely certain that we will have full victory with an appeal and Mr. Cosby will not have to pay out anything. Do not let mainstream media mislead you. This is what we call a defense verdict win. Thank you to everyone who supports the truth, facts, and justice. Pierre, I know that was pretty lengthy and a lot of information in it, but I think it is important to, have all the information stated. I want to get what are your thoughts and reactions to that?
Wow. I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I know if you are out with the friend and the friend has a pistol on him and y'all get in an argument with some guys and he shoots him, you're going to jail too. So let me say first, the reason I'm saying that. What is a girl that's 15 years old doing at the Playboy Mansion? What is she doing? She's going there for a reason, not saying sexual reason, but she's going there. She's way too young to be at the Playboy Mansion. At 15 years old, why are you bringing yourself in that scenario, putting yourself in that position? God, we didn't know. I'm quite sure she didn't say, I'm 15 years old, Mr. Cosby. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure that wasn't the situation. But her to bring herself and put herself in that situation, unbeknownst to Mr. Cosby. Now, did he rape her? I mean, that's one word to the other word. She said she's on a period. He still did it and all that kind of madness and stuff. But to put herself in there, I really want to know, why did you go to the Playboy Mansion at 15 years old? There's grown folks up in there, man. Everyone in there should be adults. So I think she put herself in a bad position from the start. And it may be there to get other people, as my boy brother Capone would say, to bring the black man down in the party. You know what I'm saying? They might put people in there to see who can get down and see who messes around with that. But I think that's fraudulent, the fact that she was even allowed or even put in there. And she even wanted herself to be there at a grown folks place that's like that. And the Playboy Mansion, let's be honest, it wasn't a place where non-sinners were. It is what it is. So, I'm glad she's not reaping any rewards. And at 500,000, we're talking about it now again. And I don't know, man. It's just, what's next?
Yo, what's happening, social media family? As you can see, I'm relaxed today because we got a great victory on yesterday. No punitive damages, $500,000 award to Judy Huff. She would never get to see that payday ever, because we file our appeal in 2 weeks. But what those jurors said is that, yeah, we believe certain things, but we don't believe that this actually happened to you and that your claims validate you to receive $1 million. Look, if they had a file against us for punitive damages, Mr. Cosby would have had to pay almost $50+ million or more. They wanted $4 million for each year that the lawsuit was filed. So thank you, social media. Peace is casual, no court. Congratulations, Bill Cosby and Mrs. Cosby. You guys are wonderful. Bye-bye.
Right. Now, Yamanik, I do want to come to you, but first, I think, Pierre, you asked a great question as far as just some of the details of the case. So allegedly, she did say that she told Mr. Cosby that she was, 15 or 16 at that time. They met while he was filming a movie in a park. He then invited her to the Playboy Mansion. She says, as she was sitting there, Cosby came on to her. She left to go to the bathroom. And then when she came back, Mr. Cosby told her to come sit beside her. As she came to sit beside him, he pulled down his pants, and then he would wrap his hand around her hand to then perform a sexual act on him. So those are the details of the case. I do think you asked a great question, Pierre. I think a lot of people are skeptical because, looking at the details to a lot of people, it doesn't make sense, how someone can wrap, a hand around another hand to then move you over to perform a sexual act. So, yeah.
I didn't hear the part you just said that he invited her. You didn't say that part in what you just read. Now you're telling me he invited her. Well, where was her parents at 16 years old to be invited, let somebody, Mr. Bill Cosby, don't care how famous you are, take your daughter, a 16-year-old daughter, to a Playboy party? You know, where was the parents' responsibility? There's no pay. The parents just said, hey, I'm backing up off it. So what a wild time it was in the 70s.
Yeah, Monique, I want to get your thoughts. I know I kind of added, a little bit more information. And Pierre, thank you so much for even posing that question to, give that information. But Monique, I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts and reactions at this point?
Me and, it's Maxine. We're going to reclaim our time. We're reclaiming our time. Symphony, I'm so, as with your journalistic skills and your beauty, that you even have to waste time on this. Because like I said, who can't, the ghost of Bill Cosby done floated up the camera. Mm-hmm. Who cares? And I get it, and I want to be here. I said, I don't want to let the people down with my opinion. I guess some people agree with what I'm saying, some people don't. I want to come in here and be positive, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm coming from my perspective today and mine alone. Who cares? This black man who was a celebrity that thinks he got to be on the lookout because white people trying to take him down, took his behind to an environment where there were young white women around, and now he want to claim foul. All of them at the Playboy mansion need to go up in charges. I mean, we watched Hugh Hefner date women in their 20s, and his balls was all the way in committing suicide at 89, 90 something years old.
Damn.
All of them have problems. To sit here and act like, yes, on the one hand, she shouldn't have been there. On the other hand, what a 15 and 16, we did the same thing with the R. Kelly case. We was, what them girls doing up there? What about their parents? We want to blame everybody but the man. I don't care if the girls is trying to get the money. So what? You want people to have the same sympathy for you that you've been hustled and somehow taken advantage of, but you put yourself in situations like this. The older I get, when I was young and I developed early. I had hips, breasts, everything was thick. And men used to say to me, oh, I didn't know you was there. Yeah, I know you're 12, I know you're 13. You know good and well, as you get older, you know what a damn 12 and a 13 damn year old look like. And if you don't, that's because you're not looking at enough women in their 30s and their damn 40s, because you're still trying to be a juvenile in your damn mind. And I hope she get $500 or whatever she can scramble from him. He had no business being in that situation. Again, I will say, if the Cookie Monster tell you I stole some cookies from them and I was fucking around with the Cookie Monster, believe the Cookie Monster, because I'm a fat bitch.
Right, but let me ask you a question. But if women get developed quickly, say somebody was 16 and they look like they're 18. I mean, and they're 18 and the spot is open.
You shouldn't be messing with no 18-year-old.
Hold on. So let's say you're at an 18 and older place, and somebody looks, they're 16, but they're in their fraudulent, trying to act like they're 18. You look like they're 18. A guy thinks he's 18. 18 is legal. It's legal. Now, it's not just because you might think because the guy's 40, he can't mess with my 18. As long as it's legal, just like driving, if it's 55, it's legal. If you go over it, you're speeding. So with that being said, what about women who put themselves in a position of being 16, trying, looked at, they overdeveloped, look like they're 18, 19 years old, at an 18, 19-year-old spot, a guy 35-year-old starts talking to her, has sex, and then find out, I'm only 16. What, I mean, really? Really? It's just like, dude, it's your problem.
There's no winning this argument here because there's too many cats is going to be in the comments section with their derelict mind, right? Who are you trying to convince, me, or you trying to convince the girl? Like, sure, there's girls 16, 17, girls is hot, 16 and 17 years old. They want to get out. They want to be adults now. They've been children for a long time. Unfortunately for these girls, they encounter men who want to take advantage of their naivety and their youth and their hunger to be adults. You know good and damn well when a girl is 16 and 17 years, we all know what a young girl look like, breasts, hips, or whatever. Because I tell you one thing, you can tell I'm in my 40s.
Well, the gray hair does that, but not if you're in a place, that's 18 and older. It's different if I meet you on the street and eat ice cream and you're
making an assumption that place was 18 and older. Hugh Hefner, we watched him do a whole TV show where he was in his strong ass 60s going into 70s, and he was dealing with women who were 20-something years old.
They're legal, right? They're legal.
Right.
They're legal.
Right.
They're
so
older.
What are we arguing about? Sure. Okay. Are we arguing about how? Okay. Yay. Everybody got legal.
Yeah, once it's legal, that's why it's law.
Sure, once it's legal, it's it. Yeah, once
Yes,
a girl is 18
you can be 90 years
once
old
she
and mess
becomes
with a girl
legal,
who's 18. You can
right?
be 90 and mess with a girl
We
who's
change
18.
the goalposts on what is legal all the time. Some places is 16, some places is 18.
It doesn't
some
matter
places
if the
20
place
and
says
21. I
it's
don't
18
know.
and
I'm
older.
not waiting for a young man to turn legal.
So let me
Okay, you might not
tell
be waiting, but if you're in a place that's legal, man, if you're at a club, a nightclub, and a guy is talking to you and he's, you find out it's supposed to be 21 and older, the nigga 19.
I don't know. I've dealt with young guys. I've dealt with young guys.
All right,
and I haven't
all right.
dealt with
I know
young
about
guys
law.
who are 20
It's
and
law. It's
21
about
years
law.
old. I know the difference between a guy who's in his early 20s and a guy in his 30s just by the conversation and the mindset. And if it's hard for you guys to confuse the mindset of a woman who's mature and versus a 15 to 16-year-old, that's because you're not
Trust
paying
me, there's some ignorant ass 18-year-old girls. There's some girls who act childish at 18 and 19.
So let
20.
me
Trust me.
Let me propose. I want to ask a question. I think both of you are bringing up points that I feel like a lot of people feel are valid. Yamanika, I want to come to you first because I think you bring up a great point, especially when you're dealing with kids. There's so many factors to it. There's so many things to look into. There's so many questions that are posed. And to be honest, right before we even start talking about this, as we were discussing like the importance of the conversation, why we want to talk about it on the platform. One thing for me, and I'm going to be honest, as someone who has experienced that, when I see women that are maliciously lying on men, for example, I think Chris Brown had a case where a young woman said that he sexually assaulted her, and he had proof he sexually assaulted her, and he had proof like it was far from that, and nothing happened to her. For me, like when I see women like that, it makes it harder for women like myself or other women who have experienced things like that, because it's like now we're gonna continue to be looked at as like liars or be questioned, did that really happen to you, or like all these factors. So Yamanika, I want to ask you, if someone is shown to be wrongfully, accusing someone of sexual assault or anything like that, do you think there should be repercussions or something should happen to them in that case while they're in court, not waiting for the person to sue back? But if I bring you to court and say, hey, you sexually assaulted me and it's proven that I was lying, do you think that something should happen in that court or in that case?
I've stood publicly when we first started this conversation about believe all women. I said that was dangerous. I said that on social media. I said that on my podcast. I said it on my YouTube page. I said that is dangerous because anybody can lie. So to say believe all women is dangerous and it's irresponsible. I'm just going to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Also, I understand gaslighting, right? So let's make it equivocal because I don't want to go back and forth. This has become a male versus female issue. It really is a male versus female because there's going to be men who like young women. There's going to be men that have done derelict deeds and they're just looking for any little cop out to be like, well, she did this and she did, because they want to shirk responsibility. And as a woman, especially me being an older woman, an overweight woman, they're going to constantly say, well, you're bitter, you got a problem, you're hating, you don't want men to have fun. So I'm not going to engage niggas. Like I've learned that a long time ago. There's no reason for me to go back and forth with niggas about their opinion. Papa, do whatever you want. Hope the law don't catch you. But I understand that sometimes what we'll do is we'll go, well, so-and-so, she lied. And then you try to blanket that all over all women. I am somebody who has been in a domestic abusive relationship. I have somebody that experienced that. I have somebody that has volunteered for that. I am somebody that has advocated for women. I'm telling you, there are women that lie. Yes. But there are a lot of women who are not lying, who are abused, who are taken advantage of, murdered. Let's just keep it real. Okay? You want to keep going about, if you want to make this thing equivocal that, well, because you find a few women that lie, you want to blanket that all over all women that lie, I can't have a conversation with you because I've looked in the eyes of a woman that's been raped. I've looked in the eyes of a woman that's been abused, taken advantage of. Once you steal a woman's spirit, once you steal a woman's innocence, once you destroy a woman, the soul is gone. That's on the conscience of whoever did that.
That was perfectly put. Pierre, I want to bring that same question to you. Oh, and of course, if you want to respond, I'll give you the opportunity to do that as well. But when it comes to somebody being wrongfully accused of something, the person that's doing the wrongfully accusing, do you think something should happen to them? And if so, what do you think?
I love my sister Yamanika, but that was not perfectly put. Okay, you asked that question. The question was, what punishment should that person get for doing that? Not about other parts. She mentioned everything else about how women are abused and blah 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 blah. People spread word. The question was, what is your responsibility as a woman who accuses a guy for raping her or whatever? What should the punishment be for you, woman? Not about for those who spread the lies and all that. What should it be? All right, that's what the question was asked. She should receive the same punishment he would have received had he been called guilty. If your ass gonna be in jail for 5 or 10 years, then if you accuse a man for raping you, like the Chris Brown situation, then yes, young lady, then you need to. Yes, I understand other people rape and they really do it, and I ain't here to blanket everybody, but if I find out that you told a lie, that didn't really happen, then you should get the punishment that a man would have received for raping you. Let's just switch it around, because now you have tarnished that man's name. I don't care what you say. People, he probably did rape. I don't know. That's a serious allegation. And just to go away, the female say, well, it happened. Bye, I'm gone. Things happen. Lost out on this one. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You should receive the same punishment. I believe that's the question you're asking, but I don't know if I'm sure or not.
Now,
you know what, Pierre, you did answer the question. And also, Symphony, I'm sorry. I did answer the question. When I addressed up front, I said, I understand that there's women that lie.
Right.
Any implication that comes with that, me understanding that there's women that lie and you find out that a woman lies, right, you do with her what you may. Then I decided to take my time, because me and Maxine are still reclaiming our time, because I shouldn't even be involved in this. I had nothing. I wasn't in no Playboy mansion. I wasn't sitting up there working on no movie. That was Bill Cosby, his eyeballs and the cataracts that he carries around to this day. Let him prostrate himself and try to convince people, not I. I decided to take my time, because I understand once we leave here, you go into the comments, people gonna start making their own opinions. Half these niggas don't even pay attention to us anyway. They making comments about stuff we haven't said. They misconstrued in our point. I want to be very clear during this time that there's too many women that get abused and taken advantage of, and I'm going to let people know that that's the case. Do you understand? That's the case. And if you happen to like young girls, more power to you. But not every man that likes young girls and takes advantage of young girls is an innocent guy. Some guys fall in love with a girl that's 20 years younger than them, 15, good. A lot of men take advantage of young women because they don't have the balls to stand there with women who their age or somebody that can challenge them. Because a young girl gonna puppy dog look up at you and not challenge you for the most part. And you niggas know
and let's be honest, there's women who got that zaddy, who mess with an old ass dude, 60, 70 years old, who got that money, and she's 22. She's taking advantage of him too. So let's not act like it's just the man does it to the woman. Let's talk about the young girls who do that to the old guys, knowing it's all they doing is milking his money. So let's be real now. Let's go both ways now.
Okay, it go both ways, but also the nigga gave her the milk carton. She can't milk a cow that ain't there.
And the point, she's taking advantage of him another way. She's being fraudulent. She's being fraudulent.
So let me close this out by asking this question. Thank y'all both so much for chiming in on this one. Y'all are always very, very entertaining to have a conversation with. So thank you. Pierre, I'll start with you to close this out, and I think you kind of mentioned it earlier. You know, we've been seeing this conversation and having this conversation. You know, Yamanika, you mentioned, you know, kind of having it again. It's just like kind of, you know, why? You know, to close this out, Pierre, do you think this is, you know, the last nail in the coffin for Cosby's legacy?
I don't know. You know, I'm beyond looking at him as a sexual predator and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's not true. But I'm just gonna err on the goodness part of what that man did for the culture. I mean, you know, let's be honest. When the Cosby Show was out, a lot of black kids were going to black colleges, HBCUs, because of him and so forth, and it moved forward. Okay, if you want to say his past and some of the stuff he did was horrible, if you wanted that outshine all the work he did, being the first black on television, as far as the series and so forth, and what he's donated to people. If you want to overshadow what he did and the allegations are going back and forth, if that's what you want to put your hat on that and ride on that, that's fine. I choose not to, okay? So it's, to me, back and forth, he say, she say. I know stuff that he definitely did. I saw what he did with his money and, you know, in his situation and what he helped other people do. I know that. Now, what he did behind closed doors, it's coming to he say, she say. So I'm not going to put my hat on that and destroy him for that. I'm hoping it's over with. I hope we've moved on. But for those who want to hang their hat on it, there's young kids who are hating on him. And it's the majority of the youngsters that do that. And it's okay. If that's what you want to do in the comments, and I hate Bill Cosby, fine. I'm not going to hate that gentleman. Just like I'm not going to hate Michael Jackson for those allegations of pedophile. He was a great artist. He did some stuff. I'm going to go on the air of what he did positively more than negatively as far as his legacy to me.
Yeah, Monique, I see your reaction, so I want to get your thoughts to, of course, if you want to add anything to Pierre said, but also propose the question to you as well. Do you think this is the last nail in, Cosby's coffin for his legacy?
I mean, at this point, I hope he wouldn't have a coffin. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't think nobody wants to see him laying out. Some people get to an age where it's cremation time and just put them in an urn and then let's just dap up that urn. You know what I mean? People, last time I saw him, he had all these liver spots in his eyeballs. So I don't know. I mean, is he out here in the streets? I don't know. I think what's going to get missed in my attempt to avoid talking about this, because really it is sad. You did have somebody, Cosby obviously has some problems that we don't have time to talk about right now. But yeah, okay, so he was for the culture. He presented something for the culture. But at the end of the day, I get so tired of Black celebrities putting themselves in these situations that are compromising, and then they got to come back to us. And we got to fight and argue. No, Cosby didn't do it. No, we love him no matter what. He gave us an ice cream cone in the 80s. So now he can just shove his dick in our ass. I mean, I don't know. We go to these type of extremes. I don't know. I'm tired. Is there any more women out there? I wish they would all shuffle out now. Shit.
Right. I agree with that. But you know what I don't like? Is the white folks who love JFK, John F. Kennedy. He was one of the most salacious, cheating on his wife ass. But guess what? He's one of the greatest presidents. Them white folks ain't dragging him down. They're keeping him up as one of the greatest presidents of all time.
Stop doing that, Pierre. And I
why can't we lift our own up? Why can't we lift our own up? We gotta play goody two-shoe with it. We gotta be like, no, if he did something wrong to my allegations, I'm gonna bring him down. I'm gonna bring him down. But white folks lift their people up.
No, Pierre.
Look at John F. Kennedy.
Pierre, don't try to out-Black me. Both my parents are Black.
That don't make that. That's silly. I don't give a damn.
I'm telling you, Pierre.
So back again. So what about John F. Kennedy? He's a great president. Look at dirty deed he did.
We gotta stop this with white people. Oh, white people do this, so we got to do. Yes, we can. We can do that. We can do that. This ain't the thing you gonna hang it on.
Yes,
this is
I will.
Not accusations of sexual harassment.
You should see the stuff that he did behind Jackie O with all them other people with Marilyn Monroe. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah, but none of them women filed suit against him and said they all act like it was consensual. Everybody wanted to sleep with the president. How many people want to sleep with a cushion?
You tap dancing for that white man. You tap dancing for that white man, girl. Go ahead.
Who tap dancing, nigga?
I'm gonna wrap y'all up. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap y'all up because I know how y'all do. I know how y'all do. Every Wednesday, I'm gonna just start coming with I gotta have like some boxing gloves or something for y'all.
Ding, ding, ding. Now we have a ding, 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 a bell.
Always, yes.
I love you, Monique. I
love you too.
I think both of you, I do appreciate, I will say I love our conversations on Wednesday because I love how even when y'all have opposing views, like at the end, we show that we can have differences and difference in opinions and still be able to come together. So I really appreciate every Wednesday being able to talk to both of you. So thank y'all so much for chiming in on this one. I am gonna wrap us up so we can go ahead and close out. You heard from us, now we wanna hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the verdict of Cosby's case? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. And yes, put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
What's up, y'all? This your boy K-Rob, and for years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now you come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more of our one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs, with the culture, the leaders in truth, and well, your streamer just got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.